In the heart of the desert, beneath the blazing sun, a desperate people flee from oppression. They are tired, frightened, and pursued by a powerful enemy. But this is not the end of their story. This is the beginning of a miracle, a moment that would echo through the ages. Prepare to witness one of the most breathtaking acts of divine power ever recorded in history, the parting of the Red Sea. In a time of despair, when all hope seemed lost, a miracle was about to unfold. God was preparing to show his mighty hand in a way the world had never seen before. The journey of faith was about to begin, and nothing would ever be the same. The Israelites marched forward, hearts pounding with fear. Behind them, the dust of Pharaoh's mighty army rose like a dark cloud. Horses thundered, chariots sped. The people cried out in terror. Before them, an endless sea. Behind them, certain death. They were trapped, but not forsaken. Panic and despair spread like wildfire. Mothers clutched their children. The elderly wept. Many cried out against Moses, asking why he had led them here only to die. The sound of beating war drums filled the air. Yet even in their terror, a sliver of hope remained, a trust in the unseen power of God. Moses, standing firm, lifted his voice above the chaos. "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today." With his staff raised high and his faith unshaken, he became a beacon of courage, pointing the way to the impossible miracle to come. The winds began to blow, a fierce, supernatural storm sweeping over the waters. The sky darkened. The sea groaned and churned, as if responding to the voice of the Almighty. The elements obeyed their Creator. The earth itself seemed to hold its breath as the hand of God moved. Before their stunned eyes, the impossible unfolded. The sea tore apart, rising into towering walls of water on either side. A dry, open path appeared, stretching across the seabed. The people stared in awe, standing at the threshold of a miracle greater than any they had ever imagined. Step by cautious step, the Israelites moved forward. Feet that once feared death now marched boldly across the dry seabed. Families held hands. Elders wept with gratitude. They were not merely escaping. They were walking through a living testimony of God's power and faithfulness. Pharaoh, blinded by rage and pride, ordered his army to charge into the parted waters. Chariots rattled, horses screamed. Soldiers raced into the very heart of the miracle meant only for God's people. What they could not see was the invisible line between salvation and destruction. As the last Israelite stepped onto the safe shore, Moses turned back toward the sea. At God's command, he stretched out his hand once more. The waters, held back by divine force, now returned with unstoppable fury. The sea roared back to life, consuming Pharaoh's entire army in moments. The noise of war was silenced. The waves crashed and settled. On the opposite shore, the Israelites stood in stunned silence. Their enemies were no more. In that moment, they saw not just the sea close behind them. They saw the power, the mercy, and the justice of their God. Tears streamed down faces. Hands lifted in praise. Songs of thanksgiving rose into the sky. A people once enslaved now stood free, forever changed by the mighty hand of God. Their journey into freedom had begun, guided not by their strength, but by their unwavering trust in the Lord. The parting of the Red Sea was not merely a story of escape. It was a story of faith, obedience, and divine intervention. When God leads, no sea is too wide, no army too strong. Trust in him, and miracles will follow. The miracle at the Red Sea, Exodus 14. A reminder for all generations. With God, the impossible becomes possible. Trust, believe, follow him into the freedom he has prepared.